really happy. And to use a word my father used to say, we're elated to have Brother Rick Mathis with us. And he's known as the documentary king. He's an accomplished filmmaker and an author, over 20 years of experience in photojournalism and filmmaking. He's based in Atlanta. He founded the West End Filmmakers and is internationally recognized as a leading director, producer, and writer. Mathis began his career in the performing arts in 1997, performing original poetry and managing talent for HBO's Def Comedy Jam. I know some of you are too young to remember Def Comedy Jam, but they had people on there like Bernie Mac, etc. All right. These poets won notable awards such as Tonys, Peabodys, and Emmys, and appeared at the HBO Film Festival and Def Comedy Jam on Broadway. So he has an advanced, really extensive resume here. And I'm just kind of skipping down, and Rick, forgive me if I leave something out that you would like me to emphasize and include. In 2005, Rick became the supervising producer at Rolling Out magazine in the video department. He produced and captured hundreds of cinematography, including his debut sequels launched in 2015, the film Black Friday, Contradiction, and more. In 2017, he launched Black Friday 2, Living Legacy World Tour, traveling in countries like Mexico, Spain, West Africa, Ghana in particular, to screen the film and teach generational wealth, entrepreneurship, legacy building. Today, he's one of Atlanta's renowned storytellers, specializing in the idolization, film production and distribution. So, what a great honor it is for us to have such an esteemed brother come to us. And so, with that, I'm going to say, let's welcome Brother Rick Mathis. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me, man. And thanks for allowing me to share my message and my story with this amazing group. So my name is Rick Mathis. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, west side of Atlanta, Georgia, that is, Adamsville. So, you know, for all my educated gangsters, that's Adamsville. For my freedom fighters, that's West End. And for my Bougie Negroes, that's Cascade. So I'm from the west side of Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I mean? Went to Frederick Douglass High School. And some notables that attended Frederick Douglass High School is Killer Mike, T.I., and a lot of the mayors and things like that attended Frederick Douglass High School. But it's definitely a pleasure to be here with you all today and share this amazing anticipated film that we have called B1 the Movie that was executive produced by myself and Dr. Boyce Watkins. So I'm excited to be here.
Yes, we're here.
All right. All right. Well, you know, I'm just responding to what King Kevin asked that this be put in the chat, the link for the trailer. So I just put that in the chat. And let's see here. I have a couple of things in here, I believe. Let's see. What did I do with it? I had a PowerPoint that seems to have disappeared. But you hate when that happens.
Oh, yeah. I think that's it right there. There you go.
When your PowerPoint, you won the movie. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I love this. You got a whole curriculum associated with it. So can you explain a little bit about that?
So B1, the movie, is produced a little different this time. You know, in the process of my evolution of producing films, I said that I was going to take a different approach this time and produce this film in episodes. So B1, the movie, is produced in 5 episodes. We asked 5 episodes, and each episode has 3 segments. And what we did was we created a curriculum that mirrors the film. So within those 5 episodes that are produced, we created a curriculum that has exercises wherein you journal and you write about being on code, because this film is essentially about being on code. The opening question says, what is it going to take for Black people to get on code and put us first? I want you to just think about that. What is it going to take for Black people to get on code and put us first? For so many years, we put everybody else first. We even built America, the country that we live in today. That's the richest country in the world. And, you know, on our backs, you know, our ancestors did it with blood, sweat, and tears. You know, we've did everything from nurse babies, as you'll see in the trailer, you know, white babies that Black mothers nurse. You know what I'm saying? So we've done a lot, and we've done a lot for the world and a lot for people. But now it's time that we put us first, because I feel that in order for us to restore the chaos and the disorder that's going on today, I think we need to put ourselves first and get in our rightful position, so therefore we can restore the planet that is in chaos today.
Should I play the trailer?
Yeah.
Now? Okay.
Yeah, you have the 4-minute trailer?
I think so, yes. Uh-huh.
All right, I'll preface it. So this trailer here is a 4-minute trailer that I produced, and it includes notables like Professor James Small, Boyce Watkins. We have Dr. Claude Anderson in the film. We have a host of people that are in the film. This is the 4-minute trailer for B1, the movie.
Can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For years, Black people have been taught to put other races first. But how would our community look when we establish a code of conduct that puts Black people first?
Your family is your natural economic gang, and everybody should be affiliated. There should be a code of conduct. Everybody has to be on the same page. If you cannot get everybody on the same code, then you cannot win.
All races have an unspoken code of conduct, from Chinese to Japanese, to Mexican to European. Even the KKK has a code of conduct that they operate under.
They raise money for Kyle Rittenhouse. They raise money for George Zimmerman. They stuck to their code to ensure that, hey, I got you. If we're following the rules of the system, we're already off code. The system was never designed nor set up for us to be successful.
What is it going to take for Black people to establish a code of conduct that puts Black people first?
No Chinese person, no Latino, no Arab, no Jew, no white man has ever had to be asked such a question.
The first thing that we have to have is a code, and that code has to be a patronymic code.
I'm sorry. I need it back here.
What is it going to take for Black people to establish a code of conduct that puts Black people first?
No Chinese person, no Latino, no Arab, no Jew, no white man has ever had to be asked such a question.
The first thing that we have to have is a code, and that code has to be a patronymic code because we are Black. And if we look at the Constitution, that is a patronymic code that we can follow but not actually use, because that's someone else's code of conduct and code of building wealth and prosperity that is able to be passed through an heirship for generations and for perpetuity.
But 99% of all the blacks in the country, whether they got an education from college or not, they don't know what the Constitution is all about. The Constitution was the first affirmative action plan in the United States, and it was written strictly and solely for white folk. That's why in the Constitution, 1 up to 12 is for white people. In those 12 amendments, you'll hear him talking about, he'll be talking about things like using very broad and ambiguous terms so that black folk can never figure out what the Constitution was about.
But what if we established a black constitution that puts black people first and is built on the principles of love, respect, and unity?
If black people put black people first, then we will take the planet back. That's the fact.
We have already survived the Middle Passage. We have survived the crack epidemic. We have survived mass incarceration. We have survived all type of experiments. And here we are still standing. Being black is being resilient. That is the code. It's embedded in our DNA.
Like that's the blood that's in your veins. When you know that, and you know Mansa Musa was the richest person ever. When you understand that, and you understand where you come from, and you understand that anything is possible, you will understand that abundance is your birthright, right? Stop resisting you're resisting your greatness. Stop resisting your greatness. You great. And once you understand that, and you understand your greatness, right? I am greatness on display.
I want to go see it right now. All right.
Hey, so we're getting ready, man. August the 17th, we're going to do a 4-day experience right here in Atlanta, Georgia at the New Black Wall Street. And if you haven't been to the New Black Wall Street, it's formerly a super target, 125,000 square feet of black-owned businesses, black venues, just blackity black, black, black. So we're hosting 4 days of B1 in celebration of Marcus Garvey's birthday. So we're kicking it off on his birthday, August 17th, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's gonna be an amazing time, man. We got some really cool things lined up, for you guys. I can go over the 4-day itinerary as we move through this interview. But the thing that I wanted to share is like some of the cast members that are in the film, because like you said, we do have an all-star cast, man, and I'm really excited about that, man, and really like, wow, how did we get all these people? But just to name a few, Dr. Boyce Watkins and his wife Alicia Watkins are in the film. We have Dr. George C. Frazier in the film, Dr. Claude Anderson, whom you just saw, Riza Islam, whom you just saw. Queen Afua is also in the film. Speech from Arrested Development is in the film. We got Jake Morrison in the film, Julian Gordon, Dr. Ona Brown, daughter of Les Brown. We got Ash Cash, who you saw in the film, Vicky Dillard, David Wren, who's probably the largest black-owned precious metal dealer in the country. We got D1, the rapper D1 in the film, and the list goes on and on and on and on. We probably have about 40-some people in the film, man, and it's really amazing and really a powerful piece, man. I like to say that this piece really is going to pull on your emotional strings. You know what I'm saying? I really wanted to, my approach with this film was really to allow you to really, the narrative, to grab that narrative and just pull that emotion out of you. You know what I mean? So if I don't touch you emotionally, I don't feel like I did my job with this film.
Well, this certainly, I mean, just getting those people. So did Dr. Boyce Watkins approach you, or how did that come about?
So I got a call from Dr. Boyce Watkins. Dr. Watkins was in a couple of my previous films when I produced Black Friday. He was in the remix, Black Friday remix, and Black Friday 2. So we have a very close relationship. And so he reached out to me one day. He said, Rick, I got this idea, man. I want to do a documentary on the B1 movement, you know, so, and I want you to like produce it. I want you to direct it. I love your eye. I love, you know, the way you produce. And so I was like, wow. I said, man, I consider that an honor. I mean, the B1 movement is something that he's been talking about for years. And for those who don't know, B1 simply means Black first. So I have it on this shirt here, you know, and we have shirts for sale and things like that. But B1 simply means Black first. So we walk around with these shirts, and a lot of times people stop and say, well, what is B1? You know, and I'll say, you know, Black first. So depending on who's asking, some people be like, wow, that's cool. Some people be like, Black first, you know, and look, you know, with a face of disgust. But at the end of the day, it's time for us to put us first. I can't say that enough. It's time for us to really put us first, man, and restore this mess that's going on right now in the world. Like, it's really like totally out of hand, like totally out of hand.
So now you talked to Queen Afua. How was that interview? How did that go?
Man, Queen Afua is a special, sweet soul, sweet spirit, and at the same time, she'll pull her belt out and she'll whoop you. You know, you're not eating properly and you're not taking care of your health. So Queen Afua is like your auntie in the film. That, you know, when you go to auntie house, I had an auntie named Aunt Lavani. Every time we used to go to Aunt Lavani's house, she had the couch with the plastic on it. Don't you sit on my couch. Y'all sit over there on the floor. Y'all sit in the back room. Y'all go outside to play. Aunt Lavani did not play. So that's how Queen Afua is in the film, as you'll see. Queen Afua and Mama Pill, they the aunties in the film. They pull out they switch, they belt, and they spanking your behind on what you need to do to put Black people first. Because what we do is we touch on things that we feel that Black people need to put first in order for us to be successful. One of those things is health. You know, that comes in episode 5. What does it take for Black people to put our children first, our health first, and relationships first? So they really like go in on things that you need to do to put your health first.
And you know, I've never met him, but I've seen him so much. I feel like I know him, Dr. Claude Anderson.
Dr. Claude Anderson, again, Dr. Claude Anderson, I mean, he has a wealth of knowledge, and his resume is very extensive. Like, this man is responsible for writing the affirmative action plan, which they just really took out the books, you know what I mean? He was the one that wrote that plan, but he got disgusted with it because the plan that he wrote for Black folks, which was the affirmative action plan, more white women were benefiting from the affirmative action plan than Black people. So he was really disgusted about it. So, you know, again, Dr. Claude Anderson is like that uncle that's gonna fuss at you, you know, gonna make sure that you're doing what's right and gonna get your butt in line. I had an uncle named Uncle Henry, and that's how Uncle Henry used to do. Uncle Henry would fuss at you and make sure you were doing what you were supposed to be doing and protecting the family name. Because, you know, I was born in the country. I live in Atlanta now, but I was born in South Georgia. And in South Georgia, it was all about the family name. You know what I mean? You had to protect your family name. Don't you go out there and make our family look bad. It was about the name, you know, and that's how Dr. Claude Anderson is. And as a matter of fact, you know, my grandmother and my uncle, Uncle Henry Anderson was his name. Miss Jezebel Anderson, my grandmother, was her name. So, you know, they're all ancestors now, but yeah, that's how Dr. Claude Anderson is in the film. Like, would
you feel like, okay, you just mentioned that, would you feel that in a way that the B1 is like a libation?
It is very much a libation. I'm gonna share something with you. During the production of this film, my mom made a transition in the middle of the production of this film. We started working on this film in September of 2021. My mom passed in January of 2022. So from that point, it was something that I had to do and do this for the ancestors. In the film, we talk about the ancestors, and there's a powerful story called Ancestral Mathematics. Some of you may be familiar with what that is. And in Ancestral Mathematics, it really just breaks down, your ancestral lineage in terms of how many people it takes to create the person that you are now. So if we went back 12 generations, Ancestral Mathematics says it took 4,094 ancestors to produce Rick Mathis today.
Yes, yes, yes.
So in the film, we really pay homage to the ancestors. So this film is definitely, about the ancestors, definitely.
Okay, just one more in this list of extraordinary people. Dr. George Frazier. He seems kind of no nonsense.
I call Dr. George Frazier the voice of God, because when you listen to him speak, he has a very calm voice, and he's very methodical when he speaks.
Yes.
So in the film, he says, somebody asked me the other day, what happened to Black people? And I said, I'm going to answer that question and be very genuine with you. But after I answer this question, I want you to still love me. He says, we changed when our music changed. When we started calling women and men bitches and niggas in our music, and excuse my French, we changed. And that was so profound. You can go see that now on YouTube. That clip is up that shows what Dr. George Frazier says there. So I call Dr. George Frazier the voice of God. His delivery is impeccable. I mean, he's a genius with it.
You know what? I have to go and see that. But that's what I've always felt when you think about people like Curtis Mayfield, or the old songs that they used to play on Motown, and when people were singing more love songs, maybe I'm just too corny and old-fashioned, but when
that's it.
When the Fuzz was singing "I Love You for So Many Reasons" and all of those songs, we related to each other in a much more positive way. That I've always felt that.
So with that being said, so going back to B1, the curriculum, right? So in the curriculum, one of the exercises that we do is we take you through that period. So we start in the 60s and we take you through the time period of James Brown, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Gladys Knight, Midnight Train to Georgia in the 70s. Michael Jackson in the 80s singing about having fun and dancing. And then we bring you to the late 80s or the mid to late 80s, where a gentleman by the name of Luther Campbell was introduced. And he started singing about, or rapping about, I should say, sexualization of the Black woman. A rapper by the name of Too Short started calling our Black queens female dogs.
I'm sorry to admit that he's from Oakland. Yeah. So
He is from Oakland. And then NWA, they made it acceptable for us to call each other the N-word. You know what I mean? So I talk about that evolution in the curriculum, and Then I bring it forward to where there's a rapper in Atlanta, Georgia by the name of Young Thug that's on trial because of his rap lyrics with something called a RICO charge. So I show you how the music has changed and how it's changed, and it's been a direct reflection of what's going on in our community. And then one of the things that we do in the curriculum as well is we have you write down your the four top songs that you're listening to right now. Like, read the lyrics on these songs, and then write, are those lyrics on code or are those lyrics off code? Because again, this movie is about being on code. So we have to assess what we're listening to and what's on our playlist to see if we're on code when it comes to our music. So yeah, so that's, you know, that's where we are. And you know, those the soundtrack that we did for this film, you know, that song that ends, Black is Beautiful. Those are the songs that we need to be singing to uplift our spirit and make us feel good about ourselves. That song, the album, you know, it's a soundtrack that we released that is a collector's item. It's an actual CD that has a 12-page fold out, but there's a digital download so you can scan the QR code and still listen to the music on your phone. You know what I'm saying? But you still have a CD, because remember back in the day when we had the CD and we would open the CD and that whole experience. Yeah. You know, B1 is about the experience. So we bring in that experience back, you know, so that's what we're doing with B1, the movie. So B1, the soundtrack, is an actual soundtrack that we released that you can go to b1theexperience.com and you can buy that soundtrack today. Or you can buy one of the songs for 99 cents right off of b1theexperience.com. So that's what we're doing. We're bringing the essence of music, of film, and all of that, because it's important that we control the narrative. I was just a part of a team that produced a documentary on a gentleman by the name of Marvin Arrington Sr. here in Atlanta. So we were able to produce this film last year to tell his story and allow him to tell his story. Well, guess what? Today, Marvin Arrington Sr. made his transition, and my condolences goes out to the family. But we were able to control that narrative and tell his story. He was up in his close to 80, I believe, but we were able to tell the story from the horse's mouth and control that narrative and get the true story. Now his story will live on in perpetuity. You know what I'm saying? His story will live on forever.
Yes.
Because we were able to control that narrative. And that's why it's so important that we do that we control the narrative and we tell the stories of these legends and these giants, you know, that walk amongst us and have done so many amazing things to propel the Black culture forward.
Well, now what you mentioned in the movie, the part that I saw, you talk about the Black Constitution. What would that consist of? What would be included in the Black Constitution?
Hey, you're a smart man. That's a very smart question, because nobody has ever asked me that question.
You know, my father was smart, so I have to give it to him. And he made his transition January 2022.
Mm-hmm. Well, and my condolences. As you watch the trailer, and the gentleman by the name of David Wren and a few others, Chris and a couple others, touched on the fact that the Constitution was not written for Black people, right?
Yes, yes.
So in the film, David goes into the signers of the Constitution, right? So he says that if your people were not one of the signers of the Constitution, then guess what? The Constitution is not for you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because when you really dissect the Constitution and who the Constitution is for, he used a very intriguing term in this interview. And he says, this Constitution, and I want y'all to do your homework and go research this. Don't believe nothing that I'm saying. He said the Constitution is for the 29 signers' posterity. What does the term posterity mean? Posterity means descendants.
Yes.
So essentially what happened, so when we talk about this Black Constitution, essentially what happened was these 29 signers established a trust. And they put their families as the beneficiaries of this trust, right? Those 29 signers were the trustees. So when I speak of a Black Constitution, I'm simply talking about establishing a trust that you own nothing, but you control everything, which is the same thing that those 29 families are doing now. So the Black Constitution, in essence, is establishing a trust. Now, I don't get that question a lot, and I don't say that a lot, but you asked, and you being the brilliant mind that you are, I decided to, give y'all that nugget tonight. But I invite you all to do your homework. Do your homework and look at that.
I agree. Now I've been looking at this person on social media. I can't think of the name, but the group is Artistic Future. I saw some pictures in the trailer. Are those pictures from Artistic Future?
Well, there was a lot of AI used to produce this film.
That's okay.
A lot of AI technology.
Yes.
So those pictures are from AI technology that were produced in this film.
Those are great. Hey, listen, I don't want to hog everything, so I'm just going to open it up now. This section, let's just open it up. If for those of you that are on, if you have some questions for Brother Rick Mathis, please raise your hand and we'll go.
Okay. I can't raise my hand, Baba, but this is Sister Ingina.
Yes.
And there is a brother, a brilliant new last 10 years or so, Gregory Porter, and he has a song called Musical Genocide, where he talks about this music and how he will not accept it. Gregory Porter, and I think it's on his CD called Liquid Spirit, and he talks about the musical genocide and how he will not accept this madness music that's out now. So look him up. He's just a wonderful musician, Gregory Porter. Thank you, Baba. This is beautiful.
Right.
Thank you. I definitely will look him up. I think I'm familiar with the artist, but I definitely look him up.
All right. We have the man, Chef Kidi Awadu has his hand up. Go ahead, Kidi.
All right. Greetings. Great to see you, Brother Rick. Congratulations on the new level that you're moving to. I'm always been impressed. Can't wait to get a call to see if we can work together again. Let me just ask you this. To what degree do you include Pan-African sovereign sustainable development in the idea of the B1 strategy?
When you say, do we include it, are you saying, do we offer solutions or do we speak?
Well, I'm looking at an article. I'm going to be going on the area in a little bit. And one of the articles talks about Africa set to be the second fastest growing region in the world after Asia, but headwinds remain. So Africa is rising. The evidence has been there for quite some time, and I've been doing my best to report on that. But it seems too often that when Blacks in America are engaging in developmental plans, the idea of doing like the Chinese, like the Indians, like the Europeans, and creating a global strategic plan, we just don't always include that. I just wanted to ask you, did you include any aspects of Pan-African sovereign development in the film?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've just got back from Nigeria in November and, been to Ghana and places like that. So we definitely, offer that as a solution. With this film, what we do is we offer several solutions. And the one main solution that we offer is Black love, just really loving ourselves and healing from the trauma that we've endured from, hundreds of years, being here in America, and also connecting with your roots in Africa. As you looked at the trailer, you'll see, certain artifacts from Egypt, when we're saying, reclaim who you are, go back to who you are. Vibe with your tribe is some of the terms that we use in this film, because at the end of the day, what we feel, it's about connecting with your tribe and growing. Now, when I say connecting with your tribe may be connecting with people from here in the diaspora, in Africa, and growing and doing business and building communities as well. Because, I'm doing the same thing, buying land in Ghana, in Cape Coast, to connect with it. So we just offer an array of solutions, and that is one of the solutions that we offer in the film.
Excellent. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Minister Amadi has his hand up. Go ahead, Minister Amadi.
Okay, thank you. So, one time I was talking to Maulana Karenga, and we were talking about the progress of Black people. And he was talking about how, like, we always, we've had Black Wall Street, we've had, we've amassed wealth throughout, the years, but our problem has been to hold on to that wealth. And so then he's the one who kind of gave me the awareness of the importance of a cultural orientation to make us have a reason to, pass our wealth on generationally, and a reason to maintain a community. And so I just wanted to ask you, is there like a, because, Wose is one of our, like we're like, we basically identify ourselves as Africans. We wouldn't necessarily, we're Blacks, but we're Africans. And so I'm just wondering, like, do you have a cultural component in your solution? Because, and I'm not, I think that we have to all work together. I'm the type of person that says, we have to we have to focus on our similarities as opposed to our differences. And so we're all going to have different approaches to this thing, and we're all seeking the same thing, right? Which is we want to advance, I would probably say advance the interests of African people. But if you say advance the interests of Black people, that's good too, because we're all, doing the same thing. So my whole thing though is like, I think that even if, do you have any specific focus on a cultural component? I know Queen Afua probably does, but I just was interested in that, getting more clarity on, or do you see the value of, like having us really understanding our cultural roots that extend beyond our history in America and our period of enslavement to our African roots, which I know you have already said you appreciate. So, I know I said a lot of things, but just your thoughts in that area.
Yeah, and again, I go back to the B1, the curriculum. In the curriculum was produced by myself and Queen Thais. Queen Thais has one of the largest Black homeschool businesses in the country. And one of the things that we included in this B1 curriculum is Ndinkra symbols. So by having Ndinkra symbols, because we have to tap into that DNA of who we were before we were captured here in America and enslaved here in America. So I always believe a picture is worth 1,000 words. So if we put these Ndinkra symbols in front of you, that's gonna awaken something within you. Just by seeing it and becoming familiar with it. So yeah, we definitely included that by using the Ndinkra symbols in the film.
Ashe.
All right, thank you.
All right. Sister Zarita, go ahead. Sister Zarita, go ahead.
Right here. This is absolutely wonderful. And I just agree with you about the Adinkra symbols, just seeing the image, the language is developed so that it touches your spirit. I need two things. Would you say your name for me, my brother?
Rick Mathis, R-I-C, there's no K on Rick Mathis, M-A-T-H-I-S. It should be at the bottom of the screen right there.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's my my Facebook as well as my Instagram page.
And I want to make sure I have the b1theexperience.com. That's correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll be logging in. Thank you. This is absolutely outstanding because I'm tired of cutting off my radio.
I know that's right. No, that's right. I don't even listen to my radio in the car.
I try and it stays off.
Yeah, I mean, that vibration, that frequency is so low and sexual that, you know.
And I have my little ones in the car, they can't hear. It's just always, I'm hitting the button constantly.
I mean, it's real disrespectful, the music that's being played on the radio right now.
It is.
I mean, it's very disrespectful.
I mean, super. It's awful. And I mean, so this is a blessing. This is a blessing, and I'm definitely going to get this soundtrack.
Yeah, so go to B1 The Experience and get a copy of the soundtrack. Like, we got some amazing songs on there, like some real dope artists.
All right.
Black is Beautiful. Black is Beautiful was produced by a Grammy-winning producer. Shout out to KO, who produced that song. So, yeah, it's some top-notch people on there.
Right. Go ahead, Zarita. I'm sorry.
So I just wanted to ask you to hear your commentary about Afro beats. I heard the term just the other day. Are you familiar with it?
Definitely. I love Afro beats. That's one of the things that I listen to now when I'm in the. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Asante.
Afro beats is very powerful. When I was in Nigeria, I had the opportunity to visit the shrine where Fela Kuti, used to perform and sing. And I bought t-shirts and just got a chance to soak up that energy. So yeah, I definitely love Afrobeat, and Afrobeat is stemmed from, Fela's music.
Oh, no question. Okay, we have a question from Brother Cedric. Go ahead, Brother Cedric.
Thank you very much, Minister Imhotep. Brother Mathis, I appreciate this. I mean, that was a very powerful 4 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I guess the question that I have, is there going to be a focus on something that I have personally experienced? And I've spent the majority of my life as a Black person, a Black man, looking outside myself for answers, and I was looking in the wrong place. And when I discovered that I had everything within me to go and be whatever I want to be, it was like an awakening. And I've been on that path ever since. So my question is, at some point, is that going to be emphasized during this movie?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Well, I was going to answer that for you, but if you want to ask your other question.
No, go ahead. I can wait.
So, okay, so you can ask your question right after. So to answer your question, yes. In episode 4, again, the film is produced in episodes. So you can watch a 10-minute episode or a 20-minute episode. The episodes ranges from about 10 minutes to like 23, 24 minutes. But in episode 4 is about 16 minutes. The question is asked, is it racist for Black people to put Black people first? For so long, we've been taught that it's racist for us to put us first. So in that episode, we touch on self-love, we touch on self-care, and we touch on self-worth. As you stated, we've been programmed to look outside of ourselves for the answers because of low self-worth. Vicky Dillard, who's also in the film, has a profound scene in the film where she talks about the trauma that we've endured. She said, we've heard about the Jewish Holocaust, but what about the Black Holocaust? And she goes through a series of things that had happened to us, from our babies being fed to alligators, to us being, our ancestors being tied to horses and being pulled in each direction and pulled apart, which you see on the Levi's jeans. That's part of their logo.
Yeah.
You know, so we talk about the trauma, we talk about the things that we've gone through as Black people here in America. But now it's time for us to heal from that trauma, have conversations about that trauma, and heal from that trauma so we can move on and put self-worth and self-love and self-care into our adolescents so that they can grow up to be great. Because at the end of the day, they know who we are. In episode 3, we asked the question, why do other races feel threatened when Black people talk about putting Black people first? When we simply talk about it, they get threatened. It's because they know who we are and they see who we are. In the film, everything that they've allowed us to do, we've took over. And we touch on this in the film. From basketball, we took over. From tennis, Venus and Serena, we took over. From golf, Tiger Woods, we took over, so much so they had to redesign the golf course. They know who we are. It's time for us.
I heard Minister, hold on just a second, brother. I heard Minister Farrakhan. I was watching Minister Farrakhan, this was years ago, when he was revitalizing the Nation of Islam. And he had, you know, he could just talk for like 3 hours and you're still on the edge of your seat. One of the things that he said was, if I was to take a picture of this magnificent audience here and reproduce it and show it to you, whose picture would you look for first? And people, and you know, different response. He said, your own. And that's what you're doing, Brother Rick. You're putting us in the picture. I'm sorry, Brother Cedric, go ahead. You had another.
No, that's fine. It's a real short question, and I appreciate your response, Brother Mathis. I really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to looking to all these episodes. My next question is, do you anticipate a screenplay down the road?
That's a good idea. I have
stage or anything like this.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. I haven't even thought about that, but I think that would be a good idea.
Okay.
That's something to think about.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. We have Brother Class coming up. Come in, step in, Brother Class.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Brother Rick, congratulations, brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
And I know what you went through to get this popping. Today it's amazing. How you doing, Judy? It's amazing that today I got this because I'm just getting ready to put out Andito, and she will be out this summer. And she has a video that I worked on. All her stuff is done. One of the questions I did want to ask you, and it's a crazy question. Are people in Atlanta interested in positive music? Because I remember I put out a record and I was being told, well, if you ain't got no cussing in it, I don't even want to hear it. So that's the youth. And then another two is, number one, when you went to Ghana, did you notice a different music scene? And were they open to American music? And did they get a positive response? And, you know, so the real question really is, are people in Atlanta really interested because I'm getting ready to go to Ghana in October. And I already set up everything to push everything I need to. I stopped looking at Atlanta because I've seen how negative it is. And the only person that I know who's super positive in the music industry was Speech, which is in your movie. So, you know, I might say a little too much, but you already know my background. The underground scene has always been here. It's not getting the shine. You can't say that everybody's doing negative music. We're doing positive music. We're not getting the shine that we need. And thanks to filmmakers like you, and I'm coming up behind you, we're doing it. We're putting it in our movies because that's the only way we're gonna get our love. So I yield the mic.
Well, I'll say this, my brother. Atlanta is the trailblazer as it relates to music right now. The world looks to Atlanta for the music. And a lot of the music that has come out of Atlanta that's been #1 hasn't been as pleasing and as positive as I think it should have, right? Where we are now. But I'll say this, I think now, being that we're in the age of Aquarius, we've just transitioned from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. I think we're at a time now, well, I know we're at a time, I'm not gonna say I think, just looking at the astrological clock. We're at a time now where positive music is needed and should be produced. So I hear your frustration, class, and I know you've been producing music 20+ years, but at the same time, practice patience. A bamboo tree, it takes years for that bamboo tree to even penetrate the soil. But once it penetrates the soil, it grows 3 feet, 4 feet, and 8 feet, and grows to be a 20-some foot tree. So be patient, because as of now, right now, today in 2023, no hip hop record has gone #1 this year on the Billboard charts. 0. Because we're in a different age now where people are tired of hearing the cussing and the nigga this and the bitch this and the did that. That age is over with. It doesn't work no more. So we're in a different age and a different time period where if you're not singing about love, you're not singing about peace, uplifting your brother and your sister, people are not going to want to hear it, because people are waking up and they don't want to hear the foolishness no more. So I say to you, class, be patient and believe in your project and put your all in your project, and you will see the fruit and reap the fruit and the harvest of that positive music that you've always produced. So don't get frustrated. Just stay focused. Keep your head down. Stay focused.
Right,
Because we're in that age now. You've been prepared for this time, this age. I was just talking to Malachi. Malachi has 2 songs on the B1 soundtrack. One of those songs is called Trying to Do Right. It's about a man who has this good woman and he's trying to do right, but the women coming at him. I invite y'all to check it out. It's called Trying to Do Right by King Malachi, but it's like a blues song. But guess what? He went to New York, he came to Atlanta, he went back to New York, and went back to his hometown in South Carolina. Now, the station that he grew up listening to just added Trying to Do Right to the playlist, to the rotation. That lets you know what time we're in now. So just like I told him the other day, we've been seasoned and groomed for this time right now. This is our time to shine.
Can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can, you know, yeah.
Now, you know, I dropped the OM technique. And if you haven't heard it, I'm on that path. And Judy already knows about Andito. It took a lot of money and a lot of time. But I'm going to continue to do it the way I've done. You already know what I do. They don't know, but you know. I would love to get on the soundtrack, brother. Come on, man. Here I am, man, right here for you, bro.
Exactly. So I'll say this, class. You already a star. They just don't know it yet.
It's all good, though. I've been there, done that. But this is about you and your film. So I'm not going to take up your time for that. But I just want to say I commend you, brother.
Thank you.
You know, I really wish I had worked with you while that time was going on, but I was building my empire over here. So it's already built. You already know what we're doing. So if you need me, I'm over here. But you know what I got to do, and I'm doing the African trips too, because Africa is wide open as far as I'm seeing, and they're tired of it too. They're not only tired of the music, they're tired of people coming there abusing and taking all their resources. And I've heard the president speak, and he was like not playing. He was like, we cutting you off. That's it. And that's what we need to do here. Ain't no more kumbaya songs being sung anymore. That's a wrap. So I'm not on the kumbaya side. I'm on, let's get this together. Let's do it now. No more time talking. I don't talk anymore. You don't even hear me on social media. I just do it. You see it. That's that. Enough said.
No doubt.
Thank you, Brother Class. And if you wouldn't mind, could you put your information in the chat for those of us that are not familiar with you and your works? You're muted, so if you're talking, if you're trying to say something, we can't hear you because you're muted. So I don't know if you're saying something, Brother Class.
Nah, I mean mcclassmusic.com, period.
Okay.
mcclassmusic.com. And I'm gonna be putting out movies. I plan on working with Rick. I've always wanted to work with Rick, but now I have to take it to another level. I'm incorporating AI also, because I see where it's going, and our youth needs to pick up. We need to catch up, because this is not a joke now. AI is going to be very big, and if we ain't in it, it's a wrap. So the music that y'all gonna hear is very positive. I don't do any negative music. I don't even know how to do it. And then also Google Brothers of the Same Mind, International Lover. I will put it in there, but it's International Lover. And when you hear that, you'll see, because one of the songs I did, Real MCs, and it's about real MCs, and it's an opera song mixed with hip hop. So I will put that up into the chat.
All right, cool. Thank you so much. Before we get to Brother Katabasi and Sister Judy, in the chat, Sister Brenda writes, Rick, congratulations on your new movie. I can't wait to see it. Does the movie address any of the distractions and tactics oppressors commonly use to keep our people divided and distracted?
You know, go ahead.
Before pardon me, Rick, I wanted to respond to class and to what you just said, if it's okay, before you answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Good question. I just wanted to say I am so extremely proud of you, Rick.
Thank you.
I've been knowing Rick Class, all of it. There was a spoken word movement and renaissance here in Atlanta in the late 90s. And during that time, what I found, I was promoting spoken word, and what I realized is that this was just my perception, that spoken word kind of it took a lead with hip hop. It was really hip hop in the background, but spoken word was the word up front and the music was in the background. So the word was the focus, and it was such a big, it just blew up in the 90s, 2000s. That's when Russell Simmons started Deaf Poetry, and all over the place, you know, I think out in California, somewhere where you guys are, there was a 24-hour spoken word channel station, and it was just big. And at that time, that's been almost what, a little over 10 years ago now, maybe 20, but people were ready for that knowledge. It was waking up people. And so now we've gone kind of like full circle. I think in Atlanta, of course, I'm a little biased, but I think if you can't do it in Atlanta, you can't do it anywhere. Everybody's coming here. It's a broad mixture from Hollywood, all the studios that are popping up, the music industry. So I think the time is now. We have come into an awakening, and you can see the shift. You know, when we talk about the planetary changes cosmologically, for those people who are aware of that. And, you know, we're in a time now, this is our time, and it's time for us to wake up. That's why they're so quickly trying to lock us down and do everything they can, because we are waking up. And when you look at the evidence, when you see people like brothers like 19 Keys and Billy Carson and people, they're getting a huge following. People are really interested. They don't want to hear any more of the stuff. Knowledge is power, and so much information. What we learn, and we'll say, Minister Imhotep, a lot of the knowledge that people learn, if you take this to young people, the history of who we are, people are like sponges. You know, this nonsense the kids have been listening to, that's the white owners have taken over our industry, and they're trying to push that out, but people want something better. So I think, class, to answer your question, I think it's plenty of people here ready for knowledge and conscious music. It's all over the place. Everybody's ready to wake up. And I think there's enough room for everybody, because there's so many people and so many voices. So that's all I wanted to say. And one last thing, Rick Mathis, just like I think somebody asked me, Judy, how do you know so many people? You know, I know a lot of speakers and lecturers, but see, we came back from the late 90s here in Atlanta, and we were inundated with so many speakers, lecturers. Everybody was here, and all the knowledge was floating around between spoken word and just scholars. So, you know, Rick has come a long way. He worked with Rolling Out Magazine, which was one of the biggest, you know, I don't know if you all know about it in California, but that was a paper that was in all the major cities. So he has interacted and been on the pulse, interacted with so many celebrities, musicians, and everybody in the industry. Then he got into the film industry, and he knows all the scholars. So he really is in a pivotal position. That's why he's been able to pull all these people together, because they know his work. Before B1, he did Black Friday 1 and 2, which I think we talked about on Black Knowledge Matters about a year ago. So with that, I just wanted to let you all know, hey, we are ready in Atlanta, and the young people are ready. Everybody's ready. I think it's time to take action.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Judy. So, Brother Rick, so in the movie, does the movie address any of the distractions and tactics oppressors commonly use to keep our people divided and distracted? That was the question coming in the chat.
Yeah. So again, as I referred to the trauma that we've gone through, we do address it, but this film is more of a solution-based film in that we offer solutions to counter that. Like, you know, we don't spend a lot of time on the distractions and tactics, because I'm one who believes power flows where energy goes. So if you give that a lot of energy, then that's going to manifest, and that's going to overshadow the film. So what we do in the film is we offer solutions, and we offer elements of our greatness, things that we are doing now that are great, and we honor that greatness and shine the light on it and really put it on front stage.
All right, thank you. Brother Katabazi, thank you for your patience. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Brother Mathis, for your presence here this evening. Some of my question, I think you've answered in part with some of the previous commentary, Brother Class, and as well as Sister Judy. But I'm curious, we acknowledge that music is such a big thing in our lives as Black people. But I'm curious, in your business and in your circle and in your encounters, how many rappers and performers would be amenable to changing their music to some extent, even if it's just a matter of just one positive track on a CD. I understand these people are under contract and oftentimes they don't have a free hand. But if we can just get some of the more out front rappers just putting one song on their CD, that would be a start. Then the other thing is, do you have any ideas as to what avenues we can begin to use to wrench control of the music out of the hand of the producers and managers that are feeding us a lot of this garbage, and take some control and provide a platform for rappers to come forward and do positive music?
Again, as I stated earlier, there has yet to be a #1 hip hop album on the Billboard charts this year. So therefore, it is my observation that the people who has the power ultimately are voting and saying, no, we don't want to hear that. We're tired of that music because we're not making you #1. So when you ask the question, how many rappers will put a positive song in their music? My answer would be all of them, if we say we're not going to support them anymore. All of them will do it. Because at the end of the day, they're controlled and they're ruled by the money. Their whole thing is money, 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 money. So if we're voting with our dollars and saying, we're not going to support you anymore, then guess what? They're not going to produce it because there isn't going to be a market for it.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Rick, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
I have put all the links down there. I would be really curious of how many people are actually going to look at those links. They're all there. And then when I put Andito out, she will be out probably by Friday.
You put the links in the chat?
Yes.
I don't see them.
Yeah, I don't see them either.
I don't see them.
So
try it again.
All right, so I need to know how to do it because it's right here.
Yeah, click on the bottom.
It may be that they went to an individual, not to.
They went to direct message.
Yeah, no, they should go to everyone.
Now, how do I do
It
that?
says to, and you can change that as a direct message, or you could change that to everyone. So it should go to everyone.
Okay, I got you. Let's try this again. All right. One more again.
Again.
All right. Copy link. When y'all start seeing it, let me know. One. I'm not gonna hold it, but go ahead.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Yeah, that would be.
Cool.
Yes, now it's there. Thanks.
Then I'll copy them all then.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I had another question.
I had a comment if you don't have a question just yet.
Yeah, I don't know. You might have already answered this, Rick, but how difficult was it getting all those people together? You know what I mean? You got. I mean, there's some people that I'm not familiar with that were pretty profound. How did you wave a magic wand? Are you that influential? What is your?
I'm gonna share the secret sauce with you, my brother.
Okay. All right.
So in 2021, Boyce Watkins had what's called the All Black National Convention. So when you look at the opening of the film, you'll see a lot of those shots in the film from the convention, right? So what we did was we took our studio to Orlando. So all the people were at the conference. So we had a schedule and communicated with them prior to the conference, and we gave them a recording time. So we interviewed about 40, 30, some 35, 40 some people over the course of 3 days. And it was like back to back to back. Because you know, those are some talkers.
Sure.
So each interview lasted between 45 minutes and an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how we were able to get a lot of those people.
Okay. They're all there in one place already. That's
Exactly.
good. Yeah.
So that's why a lot of them have the white backdrop. You know, we were able to get a lot of them that way. Majority, probably about 75% of it.
All right, cool. Sister Judy, I'm sorry I cut you off. What was
No,
your...
I cut you off. I apologize. I was gonna say that was really brilliant, but also Rick is Rick is a people person, and he's forever young, and he's cool, and people like him, and he's smooth. He's been doing this for a long time. As far as I knew him as Universal. He was a spoken word artist. And then when he started working with Rolling Out Magazine, I knew the editor and they're friends of mine, but that really, I'm sure, did a lot to put you in position, as well as give you the skills for videography and that kind of thing. And, if you're a people person, once you know people and you have a good rapport with them, usually people will not say no, especially when you're doing something positive. And, he always has been doing positive things and it's been what, about 20 years since the 90s, right?
Yeah, almost 25 years.
Yeah. Plus you have to remember too, that he had 2 films prior to this that were his films, So he had some heavy hitters in those films too, Les Brown and quite a few people. So I'm just speaking for you, Rick, but he's learned how to finesse, interacting with the big boys, the big girls, and he's got skills, people skills, and a good heart and good intentions.
No question. Hey, listen, let me, I think I have what I wanted to ask. Let's see. It's like I put it in, okay. I'm just going to go for it. So, here it is. It's been hiding behind here. So, here are the. I have to make that bigger. How's that?
Yeah, we can see it now.
I love this. So, what do you think? So, this is my question. What you're asking. What is it going to take to get on a code to have Black people start putting Black people first? And so this is the answer. Would you say Black love, Black Constitution, Black awakening? Would that be the answer to that question?
Those were some of the most frequent answers that people said. The number one answer, of course, was Black love. It's going to take us loving ourselves. So what we did, as you see, is it says Keisha and Jedediah. There's a Black love story that is weaved cleverly in the film, right? And this couple met at the conference at the All Black National Convention, right? At a speed dating, well, they didn't meet at the speed dating event, but one of them went to the speed dating event. Keisha went to the speed dating event looking for love. She had ran into Jedediah prior to the speed dating event. And so upon going to the speed dating event, they bump into each other again at the elevator. And so Jedediah was like, "Oh, you're looking nice. Where you headed off to?" And she said, "I'm going to speed dating." And, Jedediah being the cool brother that he was like, "Well, let me know how that worked out for you. If it don't work out for you, let's talk afterwards." So he was, flirting and putting his shot in, right? So it didn't work out at speed dating. So they ended up going out and going out to date, right? or dinner, I should say. And they had a 4-hour dinner. And from there, as you'll see in the film, I don't want to give the film away, but some things happen. And let's just say it's a powerful ending of a Black love story. The way it's told, the imagery that's shared, it's like powerful. So that love, that Black love story is weaved through the film to really show Black love. Because when you're producing a film, it's one thing to tell, but in the film, you have to show. Filmmaking is about showing what happened. So people follow the story and they get it. But it's a powerful story, powerful love story.
Wow.
All right. That's something to look forward to. Now, so Black Awakening, what do you mean?
So the Black Awakening simply means just going back within ourselves and really connecting with who we are as Black people. As you noticed in the trailer, we use a lot of DNA illustrations because essentially as a filmmaker, what I'm telling you is you already have everything that you need. It's in our DNA. We already have it. The thing we have to do is we have to get rid of the distractions. Social media, the movies that don't really applaud who we are, the music that doesn't reinforce who we are. We have to get rid of all of that because media is the thing that has our people in the chokehold. If it didn't come on TV, it's not real, is what Black people believe. It has to come on TV in order for it to be real. But guess what? That's the number one thing that's programming us and that has us in the chokehold: the media, the music, the film, the social media. In the film, as a solution, one of the guys talks about, Julian Gordon, say he takes a social media fast. China Bethany says she took a 45-day social media fast where she couldn't scroll on social media because social media is so much a part of her business that she couldn't say, okay, I'm fasting 45 days from social media, which is good to do, like Class said he's doing. But she, because she uses it for a business, she said, I'm going to take a 45-day fast where I can't scroll on social media. The only thing I can do is post my business information on social media. So I invite you all to take media fast, whether it's social media, whether it's TV, whether it's the music. Take a fast and unplug from that. Spend time in nature so you can really start to tap into who you are and really connect with who you are, because what nature does is it resets who you are as people and allows you to go in and really rediscover who we are. You know, when we spend those quiet moments, you know, in nature. Atlanta has a lot of jewels when it comes to, you know, springs, creeks, falls. It's some amazing spots here. And I go to as many as I can to sit and reflect and to become one with me and really hear my ancestors speak, because that's when you have those moments when they speak.
Yes, indeed. I found this picture, Brother Rick, back in 2017 on social media, and I saved it. And would you say that this is still relevant? This is what you're referring to?
Definitely, it's a machine. It's a machine that's creating the foolishness and the nonsense that's out there. It's a machine and it's by design.
So Warner Music, Sony Music, Universal Music, those are the three big culprits.
And they don't look nothing like us. So do you think they care about what goes on in our community? At the end of the day, it's about $1 in a check. So.
Yeah, and then, you know, hip hop is being used as a dumbing down agent against Blacks to keep them ignorant and in a docile state of mind.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sister Judy, you had a hand. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, I wanted to say to the brother who asked the question about whether he felt different artists would put something positive on their, you know, on their CDs or And I agree with Brother Rick, but I just think if you understood, just like what Minister Imhotep just showed, who owns our music industry? You know, they own it. So when you see these artists, I'm sure when you think about artists and creativity and things, you know, coming up through them with their creativity and spirituality, I'm sure they all have positive songs. But the industry does not, they write positive songs. These artists aren't just, you know, thinking. Some may, because they may be playing the game, trying to think of the most destructive things to say, but they're being controlled like puppets, you know, and the people that have positive lyrics are not going to get, you know, they're not going to get the money. So it's a no-brainer. I say that the weapons of mass, I call it the weapons of mass destruction, and the weapons of mass destruction are aimed through the food, the media, the music industry. Every angle that they can come at us to destruct us is, you know, what they're doing. And only other last point I wanted to make for Rick, you know, one thing he left out that I would add in giving him his props is that it's the ancestors. He's able to be so successful. When we study the ancestors, and we'll say in all that we know, the ancestors, when you're doing something positive and you're doing to uplift us, the reawakening of our Blackness, of our self-love and who we are, the ancestors, you are going to be successful because of, you know, you're not working alone.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You're right.
Indeed. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. We have about 4 minutes left, and we've just had an amazing hour and a half with our brother, Rick Mathis. I want to thank Brother Class. So Brother Class was able to put all of those links in the chat. And in order to save the chat, what you do is you click the chat, and then there's 3 little dots on that bottom line on the right. You click that, and then right at the top, it says Save Chat. And then you're able to save everything that was put in the chat. So just want to give you all that. And thank you, Minister Bill, for reminding me. We want to say happy birthday to Brother Henry. Happy birthday. He's 21 today. My goodness. And so I want to say happy birthday to him. And Brother Class, I want to thank you for putting all those links in the chat and introducing yourself to us today. It's been our genuine pleasure. My music is reggae. And
Minister Imhotep, pardon me one second.
You're not going to interrupt me again, are you? Wait,
please forgive me.
Okay.
I know before you close out, because I know Minister Imhotep has great slides and always closes us out so well. But just I wanted to make sure, Rick, can you tell us a little bit quickly about how we see this movie, how it's going to be released, and what the plans are for making sure it's circulated, the distribution, and those kind of things. And last question, and one other thing, how can we now, are there places on YouTube that we can go and watch different clips? And yeah, that was it.
Yeah, so if you follow me at Rick Mathis, RICMATHIS, that's on Instagram, that's on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of those are the same, Rick Mathis. And also follow B1 the Movie. That's B, the number 1, the movie. That's on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all of the platforms. But the way we'll be releasing this film is, again, on August the 17th, we're doing a 4-day experience where we'll have a kickoff for Marcus Garvey's birthday celebration. We're having the red, black, or green birthday party. So you come and you're dressed in red, black, or green, and we're celebrating Marcus Garvey. We're also celebrating the freedom fighters. So we're definitely giving awards to freedom fighters that we know in our community that have been fighting and normally are overlooked. so we want to acknowledge those people and celebrate those people. And then on Saturday, August the 19th, we're going to have the premiere of the film, and that's going to start at 8 o'clock. But we'll have 4 days. There's a flyer that we'll be releasing on social media in the morning that breaks down those 4 days. But we will be doing a viewing party online, so the world will be able to see it as well. Now, we're working to have that viewing party the day of the premiere. So we just got to work out a few things, and we should be able to have that as well. So people can host their own viewing parties at their home with family and friends and watch the film online, because we're in the digital age right now. We can do things around the globe. So, that's what we'll be doing. And we have some other exciting things happening, but that's really the main thing. So I invite you, to share this information and to purchase tickets to support, B1 the experience. Go there and purchase tickets. We have a QR code on the flyers. So all you have to do, take your phone and scan that QR code. It's going to take you right to Eventbrite to purchase the tickets. And we have a host of offerings, if you will, where you can support. So buy a ticket, even if you're not going to be here in Atlanta, buy a ticket and give it to somebody here in Atlanta so that they can go, because we need everybody to see this film and share this message, because we're in a very critical and crucial time right now as it relates to our people and what we need to do and how we need to restore, fallen humanity.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself, and we're with you. I think everybody that's been here, we had 23 people on tonight. I think we're all on your team. You've given us a really strong tool to put in our tool kit and to remind us. Thank you again, Brother Rick Mathis.
Yes.
Guidance and protection to you. Life, prosperity, and health. Live up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Isha has put in a something in the.
Yeah, B1 the experience is the actual
okay.
The actual link.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to my lady Isha for being there and filling in the gaps and putting that in the chat. So
okay, yeah, so here it is. Here I went to it, and we can wow, look at, there's the songs, there's the soundtrack.
Yeah, you can play a sample of them too.
What should I play here? Just click right here.
Yeah, you can click there and play a sample. Yeah.
Anyone that you like to, we're just about out of time.
Play Trying to Do Right, the one I was telling you about by Malachi.
Okay. All right.
Now I'm trying to do right. I got a good woman standing by my side. These women want me, but I'm trying to do right. I'm out the way since she came into my life. These women be lying, all up in my face. Don't want no fake love trying to take me from my change. Some women be fine, Lord know my weakness.
Sweetheart.
Okay. So that's outstanding. Brother Rick, you've made some friends here tonight. Thank you, Sister Judy, for recommending and really encouraging us to get Rick on. Next week, we'll be talking about the miracle of the Ma'afa, the movie, and it's going to be done by Chike Akua. All right. And tomorrow,
Chike is in the film as well.
That man is everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to join us tomorrow on this same Zoom channel, study of sacred scriptures beginning at 9 o'clock on the eastern side of the states. All right. I'm really saying goodbye now. Life, prosperity, and health. Live up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good job. Great job.